start off, despite all the cool stuff I said we're going to talk about, again, we're going to talk a little bit about some technical analysis questions and reading a trend and how the rules may not always be the rules. The rules for trading may be different from the rules of analysis. We're going to talk a little bit about broker and risk. We're going to talk a little bit about when to move on to the next section of training. But first, I have a rant because I am coming in this Monday pissed off. I am pissed off. Like, if we would have started the room 10 minutes ago, it would have been a funny show. But we'll start off with this, right? And it's my own fault for being pissed off. It's my own fault. I said I wouldn't do this, but I do. We'll start off like this, right? So it's not Naomi's fault this time, yet. But me and my wife were having a conversation yesterday, right? My wife is an independent beauty consultant, so we're both entrepreneurs in our own right. Everything in life is sales when it comes down to it, even like in relationships. You know, you go on a date with, someone, you're selling yourself on why you should get a second date. And we were kind of talking about the differences in sales because she was having a conversation with basically the person that's above her in her business, her director, is more of a hard sales type person, right? You guys familiar with Grant Cardone? Does that name ring a bell? I know Charles is not in here, but I know Charles did. I read a lot of his stuff. I know Charles did. Grant Cardone, yeah, 10X guy, right? Sell or be sold, right? Great stuff. I can only take a little bit of it at a time. It wears on you. But he's kind of he's a hard salesman. He's kind of very similar to the Wolf of Wall Street, where it's like, Jordan Belfort was like, you don't let him off the phone until you get a sale, right? So that's kind of a Grant Cardone style where whatever issue they have, there's a way to handle it. You do not let them off that phone until you get some type of sale. And it basically, like, it's in my opinion, this is nothing against Grant Cardone, but it's like a high pressure sale. I'm sure you guys have had that before where you're being bullied into this corner where you feel like the only way out is to buy something, right? And that works for a lot of people. And it can be very, very, very successful. And then there are low pressure sales, right? I would say us at Tier 1 Trading, I think all of us are more in that kind of camp where it's like we should probably be trying to sell you stuff more, but it's kind of a nonchalant kind of like, if you want it, come get it, right? Where we value kind of the person more than just the business. And my wife was having this dilemma because she's the same way. Her director is more of a hard pressure salespeople, and that burns a lot of bridges when you do that, as you can imagine, right? Especially if you're dealing with like friends and family. She's more of a helper, more of a, I don't really care about the sale. I want the best for the person. And that kind of has a conflict. And I was thinking about that, and I'm pretty much the same way. I don't care about people as much in general as my wife. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but just coming up kind of like in that sports background. It's kind of like, hey, one of us is going to be a winner. One of us is going to be a loser. I feel no pity if you lose because if you would have won, that means I would have lost. And, I'd rather have you feel bad than me. So in general, I just, it's more, I don't know if you want to call it narcissistic or whatever. I care more about myself than other people when it comes to that aspect. Not necessarily like in life. I care about my family and my friends a lot, but in general. But when it comes to sales, and I truly like what I do now because I'm helping people, right? Forex and trading in general was a way to take me from a place of kind of nowhere, to be honest with you. And it gave me a career. It was a life-changing journey. And I see my job as a coach is to help people like you who are trying to change your life, whether it's in a massively big direction or just a small direction, through trading. And I take pride in that. Like, I get happy when people share with me stories of like, hey, I just started this hedge fund, or hey, I just quit my job, or hey, I just had my first successful trade. Like, I actually take pride in that. So it kind of gets personal when I have these conversations. And I was having this conversation with this person. It continued this morning, right? And I'll kind of cut to the meat of it. I'm going to read it to you word for word. Try not to get pissed off. Try not to get pissed off. That means you, Naomi. That means you, Gabby. Try not to get pissed off. But we started talking a little bit about gold and blah, blah, blah. And there was a question that came up that says, hey, is there any way you can help me? And I said, of course, in typical Akil fashion, because you need to be very specific when you speak to me, because I'm dumb and typically overloaded. Sure. Help you with what is my response. He said, I want to become an expert just like you, and I don't have money for the premium courses. I shared with him a link to Tier 1 trading probably in our last conversation. He says, help me in trading. I really need your help. And it says, actually, and this is before I can respond, actually, your YouTube videos are helping me, but I believe there is something missing. Is there a way you can help me with that? Cry face, cry face, cry face, prayer hands, prayer hands, prayer hands. What a day we live in where that's the conversation. So I said, yeah, I was going to say, check out my YouTube channel. Lots of free videos up there. We're close to 1,000 videos and taking all the free content that we have available. I said, and then I asked, I said, hey, have you watched all of our free workshops? Because I had previously sent them a link to the free training where you can watch Ascension and where you can watch Trade to Measure. By the way, because this will probably be a podcast episode, if you haven't checked it out already, head over to www.tier1trading.com/free and check out our free training. 100% free. Tells you everything you need to know about becoming a successful trader. Anyway, so I said, or have you attended the workshop that we did last week? And he says, no, I need this training. And the first thing I went through my mind, I didn't type this, well, just go take it. I gave you a link. If you need it so bad, go take it. It's right there for you to watch. There's no strings attached. And I said, you're going to want to do that then. I said last week's recordings of the Emergence 2.0 event will be up until the end of January, and you can watch the other ones at any time. Boom. I thought that was it. All right, I'm in the middle of eating. I had hard-boiled eggs this morning, in the middle of kind of rushing through eggs and getting my oldest breakfast and trying to get the room started, right? So I'm already short with my answer. He says, I have some colleagues of mine that understand and trade Forex, but they won't teach me for free. It saddens me when I see them making money on Forex. And again, in a typical Akil response, because I'm a competitor, I said, just become better than them, right? That's the best revenge, in my opinion. Right? If you want to take it out on someone, whether it's a hater or a naysayer, become better than them. That's what motivated me when everyone told me that I'd never be successful. I said, okay, I'm gonna become very, very successful. I actually just spoke to a friend of mine yesterday. He attended the Emergence event, and we were kind of reminiscing on some stuff. And he was like, yeah, I remember talking to you way back when you first got into that trading thing, and he wasn't one of the naysayers, but there were a lot of naysayers back then. And my goal was to just be better. Yeah, sounds like great friends, right? They're probably not. Well, they're colleagues, maybe not friends. So I said, just become better than them. And he says, some of them even know the time the market will buy or sell. And I don't know the type of techniques or tools they use. Could you please list some tools I can use other than Fibonacci retracement? And I said, I'm a price action trader, so I don't really use too many indicators. All indicators do, or they simply complement price, in my opinion. So if you learn price, you'll be good. And he says, do you use tools? I said, price action is my main tool. Or I said it in that, I typed it in that voice. Price action is my main tool. Price action as how, he says. Candles or what? I said, yeah. Yep, candlesticks, patterns, simple and advanced, support, resistance. He says, I can draw support and resistance. I can read candlesticks. I gave him the thumbs up. Good. But I'm still not a good trader. My response was, I wouldn't expect you to be. Please watch our workshops and it'll show you exactly what you need to be good. He asked for the website, and then here it comes. What's your secret? Naomi says these type of conversations with people, and that's why I'm so pissed off, Naomi, because you'll see when it gets to the end that we go absolutely nowhere. But like I get again, in life in general, I don't get emotionally involved in much stuff because of that mentality. Maybe it's a lack of empathy or whatever like that. But like for some reason with trading, I do. I think because I see, like, again, I see myself as this not loser, but this person that came from nothing and kind of made it, and like I see what it can be for people, and you know, I generally want to help people. But he says, anyway, what's your secret? Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. And I went on to give him the links to the Emergence 2.0 recordings. I wanted to give him links to the free training, Trade to Measure, blah, blah. And I said, my secret is hard work. And it actually reminds me of a quote. It's going to come out this week. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick. I just scheduled it to come out. It's a great quote by Dale Pinkert. Give me 1 second to click through all these random folders that I have of quotes and whatnot. But it was a great quote about the secret to success. And it says, I'll show it to you guys here. It says, the secret to trading is there is none except hard work, perseverance, and living through adversity. If that scares you, do something else. And that just doesn't relate to trading. In general, in life, the secret to success is hard work, right? If you ask any successful person out there and they'll tell you, hey, what's your secret to success? I worked hard. So I said, my secret is hard work. He says, okay, I really like you. Weird. I said, thanks. And then smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. He says, and then here it goes. Brace yourself, guys. Brace yourself. Let me know when you're braced. Let me know when you've got both hands on your chair. Now, you don't have both hands on your chair if you're typing. You guys are liars. I got you. He says, will I be a professional with the 2-day training event? What do you think my response was? Matt says, just say yes. Naomi says, hell no. Last says, my brain hurts. I said, not even close. I said, not even close. Cody says, oh, you use one. Not even close. So he says, so what do I need to be professional? I don't have money for the premium course. I need your help, please. Cry face, cry face, cry face. Prayer hands, prayer hands, prayer hands. Help me, please. I said, just watch the workshops. And like I said, they will explain everything. But, and this is what he said. He said, but you said I won't even be close to becoming a professional. So at this point, the trader is like, I'm giving this trader free effing training. Free effing training. You guys have been to all these events, right? I mean, when I was learning how to trade, I sponged off every single free event. We're giving this person free training, and he's refusing to take it because it won't make him a professional in 2 days. At least that's the sense I got. And that's the mindset that is so wrong with so many people out there. It's this get rich quick mindset. And what's funny is traders waste people waste years and years and years like hunting and searching for this super secret golden nugget. I've spoken to traders I got this one guy who I've spoken to for 10 years. He's been trying to find the super secret for 10 years. And every time I talk to him, I'm like, dude, if you just would have trained on year 2 when I spoke to you, like, you'd probably be successful right now. Like, and that's the part I don't get, man, where it's basically saying, hey, here are some free lessons, free valuable lessons. And you guys know us, the lessons we give out are better, right? These free workshops we do are better than some paid courses. Here's some free stuff. Take it. It won't make you a successful trader, no, but it will lay out the path and tell you everything that you need to become a successful trader, from the technicals to the mindset. There's no better start than you can think of. And then it's like, will I be a pro in 2 days? No, I don't think I want to take it. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, this is what bothers me about people. And I wish I didn't care. So he said, yeah. So I said, yeah, but you said I won't be even close to becoming professional. I said, yeah, correct. Nobody can become successful at anything in 2 days. He says, but why? How can I become a professional then? With premium courses, right? But I don't have any money. Like, I'm not trying to sell you courses, man. I understand your situation. I said, here's how you become successful. Working on the right things, the right way, with the right amount of effort for the right amount of time. Right? Working on the right things, the right way, with the right amount of effort for the right amount of time. Julia said, I haven't read that book, but a few of my close friends has. He says, Julia said, I read the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Bleep. The message of the book was enjoying the process while accepting the pain that comes along with it, instead of looking for the get rich quick enjoy the process of the journey. The journey is, I mean, I guess you got to get older to realize this, but the journey is the best part. I mean, look, half my stories are, I mean, who else can laugh about blowing $30,000 in like a month in hindsight? That's the journey, right? The struggles are real. But yeah, so went on to say, okay, he said, I am always doing that, but I need the right training so I can become a professional trader. You can tell I start getting bored. I said, okay. He said, in 2 days can't help me, right? You know that, right? Is there anything you can do to help me? And then I basically ended the conversation. I said, if you're refusing to watch a 2-day training along with other free workshops because it won't make you a successful trader right away, there's absolutely nothing I can do to help you. Your mindset on success will need to change before anything. And he's like, okay, I get it. And I said, I hope you do. And what's happening is that he's going to move on to someone else and look for the get-rich-quick scheme, and it's going to be years and years and years, and he's never going to find success because he's looking in the wrong places. And it's so sad seeing this. And I don't bring this up I'm not making fun of this person, but I bring it up because it's so real. You guys remember Jason Greystone had the interview with the guy in the McDonald's who was like losing money hand over fist in the crypto market, and like people just don't want to hear it. And, I always feel bad when I'll do podcasts and I'll talk to you guys and I'll be like, this percent of people are losers. And I feel bad because you never want to call anyone a loser, but it's really out there. And a loser isn't a defining thing. It's a mindset, not a situation, first and foremost. That's my belief. You're not a loser because you are below the poverty line. You could be wealthy and you could be a loser. You can be poor, you could be a winner. I think losing and winning is a mindset, first and foremost. But it's really out there. People have this wrong mindset, and it's like, it's one thing if you have the wrong mindset. I got into Forex because I thought I could make a lot of money really, really quick, right? I didn't think it would be easy, but I thought, I had lots of confidence in myself that I can become good at it. But you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to adapt. You have to be willing to take that mindset, and when you're kind of hit in the face with reality, be able to change and shift, right? Instead of like fight it. And that's the big difference between those who ultimately go on to win and go on to lose, right? Some are so stubborn in their thought process that they refuse to think anything else because it doesn't give them what they want to have. And it's just sad. And stuff like this is like, it just wasted an hour of my life. Wasted an hour of my life. And many of you guys are probably like, well, don't talk to people like that. Well, guess what? Many of you guys were like that. Many of us met through conversations. The difference was that when I would say stuff like, hey, this is how you need to think, or you attended a webinar, you're like, yeah, I do, right? And you've gone on to see success. So I don't believe in just ignoring people like that. Again, obviously, once you get to a certain point where you can see that they refuse to change, then it's no longer a good use of your time. But for you guys that are going to be coaches and mentors and ambassadors, that's kind of the reality of what you have to deal with. You're going to see kind of the different side of things when you're working in a different perspective. And it's we're blessed to have such a good community here at Tier 1 on the chat that we're kind of blinded sometimes because everyone on our chat and everyone in our community is kind of serious. But let's not forget what's on the other side of that wall. And it's not always good. But if anyone's listening to this, right, it's important to change your mindset. It's important to have a realistic expectation. And if someone gives you something that can help, don't turn them down. That reminds me, one last story, I promise. Reminds me of, me, my wife, and my dad, and I think our kid, before our second kid was born, were coming out of an Olive Garden, right? And we got lots of food, right? We were celebrating something. I think may have been celebrating getting pregnant or something like that. But we had lots of food. Maybe that's why we had lots of food. My wife was pregnant. Anyway, so we had all this leftover food, and we come outside, and we see this homeless person, right? And I typically have a good eye for like a real homeless person versus like, got hard on their luck homeless person versus just like a drug addict, like a self-inflicted homeless person. And the homeless person's coming out and say, hey, can you help me? Blah, 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 blah. And I was always taught, you give homeless people food, right? You don't give them money, you give them food. Money can go towards bad habits. If they're homeless and hungry, They should be spending that money on food anyway, so just give them some food, right? So I had all this, we had all this extra food. So I'm like, hey, you know, I only ate half my pasta. Here you go. You know, here's some chicken Alfredo. And she looks at it and she's like, this is half eaten. I'm like, yeah, we just came out of a restaurant. What do you think? I'm going to bring out a full plate? And she refused it. This is no different, right? Beggars can't be choosy. Beggars can't be choosy. Or I guess they can.